Hey everybody, I'm going to show you how to change this window to this, a finished wall ready for paint. First you can see I got to pull the bottom of the siding off. I've already got this row done. I've already got these nails pulled out, every single one of them, except for this one up here by the gutter. And I can take my Sawzall reciprocate, or even my Multimaster, and cut that nail shank off. But I did find out with removing this one piece over here that it's nailed at the top. I don't know why it is. It doesn't need to be, but it is nailed at the top. So I got to pull off an extra row and reach up behind to cut those nails out from underneath of it so I can see my nails on the next row down here. Hopefully I said that right. But it's, in essence, I got to cut this piece out and then expose this row of nails, and then I'll be able to run up and cut this one up from underneath. Be able to cut the nails from behind the side, and you'll see. The nails want to go back in with the siding whenever I'm pulled. I have the siding pulled at about 3/8 of an inch, enough to get the nails heads to show. In order to get the nail heads so I can pull them out by the nail head, I got to take my cat's paw and take the flat side and run up underneath there and hold the nail shank still and drive it on there a little bit so it catches it really good, and then get that side to pop that nail head out, and then that way I can pull that out with no issue. Same thing here. That popped out really good. Get the siding, the nail sticks out. And nail sticks out. I do want to try to save this piece because it is notched around this fascia. So if I can keep this in one piece, I'll have an exact template to go around the fascia, but the bottom will carry across straight because the wind is leaving. Oh wow, they don't have the tops nailed here. Well, if it's not nailed, then I'll be able to take them, use the leverage on this side and pull it out. Then again, maybe not. Oh well. More than one piece it is then. Maybe I can just slide it down this way now. That's the cut that I want to save, is that right there. And I got just the edge of it. So that's a good thing. And there was a nail buried at least at that top of the window. And I can understand why they wanted to control the area over top of the window where there wasn't no way, at least a proper way to nail it. But there is that nail that's going to be in the way of putting the siding back up. It'll stop me from shoving it up because that nail was into the top of the siding that I just removed. So I can see the nail, so I'm going to take that bar right here, and I have the tip end of this bar right over top of that nail behind this upper piece of siding. And since that's there, all I need to do is hit this bar here, and that'll transfer the movement so I can drive that nail in without damaging this siding here. The nail is now out of the way. And now the rest of the side should go fairly simple. I think I'll probably have more time with them little pieces over there than the rest of it. And that's just popping the nails around the window, and that should literally fall out. Many of the newer windows that have been made since, I guess, probably since about the 80s, especially the aluminum ones. Aluminum ones for all along, as far as I can tell, since they've been out, again, 70s, 80s, have always had this nailing flange around the perimeter. And that's where they put their nails at. You can see one nail here, there's another nail down here at this point, and they're around the perimeter. All you need to do is just get your nail bar in behind there. I want to see if I can do this too, one-handed. You can see the dig marks where I've already put the bar in behind it, and I'm just more or less just now prying out. But nevertheless, it is still taking the nail puller. You can use this end, you can use that end, it doesn't matter. And getting it behind the flange. And don't worry about what happens to this, the paper, the Tyvek that's on there. That's getting a new layer over top of it, so if you damage just a little bit of an area, it's not a problem. And the window's out. I guess that's obvious. While I'm up here, I'm going to take some numbers so I can cut my 2x6s to go back in the opening. Yes, 3 pieces 22.5, 2 pieces 24. What I did here was that I looked inside and squared up the other stud underneath the middle of the window. And now I'm just going to continue that same stud, so to speak, all the way up through to the top of the window opening with my last stud. All the studs are in a nice drive tight fit. Now I can nail everything off and color this part of it done. Marking my center studs so I can see where I'm nailing, because once I cover it up I have no idea where it's at. I was hoping that I could adjust my gun for depth, but it's only deep and deeper, so I'm going to break these up and run them by hand. all the siding's done and it's in place. So now the last thing I need to do is caulk it. And caulking isn't, you know, really an exact science. You get it in there, you make sure the joints are sealed, you make sure the joints filled to the point where it's supposed to be, not where it's chock full, because there's a science behind caulking actually. But the biggest trick to start with is size your tip appropriately for the size of the joint that you're caulking. This joint right here, the biggest one I got, is about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm cutting my tip about that 1/8 of an inch size. So that way, if I cut it bigger, I would just have caulk starting to ooze out to either side of that joint. It isn't really getting into the joint the way it needs to. So I'm going to start with that right there. Actually, I'm going to do the whole job with this because it's a very fine tip, really, as far as this type of caulk goes right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that running, and I think I got to break the seal on this first. Yes, it's one of those tubes that has to be cut inside the tip. And then the tip screws back on. A lot of silicone tubes are done like this, but this is not a silicone, it's a high-end polyurethane. And it takes a paint thinner to smooth it out, but I'm going to be able to get this clean enough to where I won't have to worry about smoothing it out other than what my fingertip would do. The only thing I don't have is something that I can put any excess on. That's probably a mistake, but I'm going to try this and hopefully it won't keep pouring, because this is one of those that are, this one doesn't release automatically, and I'll probably let this run on if I'm not watching it. The new siding is also about 1/8 of an inch thinner than the original siding, even though it's the same manufacturer, same style, same texture, everything is just thinner. So it's leaving a bit bigger bare spot where the old wood was thicker, covered up more. But anyway, that's just part of the nature of the beast nowadays. And to caulk this in, it is just a matter of watching your tube. Here comes the material. And watch the underside, if you can, how the material is flowing out of the tube. You can actually see it trying to creep ahead. And you do not let it creep ahead of what you're doing. You keep a steady pace with it. This is the biggest joint that I did. No, maybe this one is. I'm starting to get a little bit excessive on the seeping out, so I'm going to wipe some of this over top of a nail head, because that's what they do over this way. And that'll get me down to a nice, clean, tight line again. And make sure you catch the underside. Now I'm just going to bed it all in. By doing the finger trick. And I'm going to seal this up here because I got a little bit of the interior material behind the finish exposed there where I could not pull this piece of siding right here. I don't know if you can see that, but just getting that sealed back in so that material don't swell up. All right, that's got that as good as that ever needs to be. They're going to paint the outside of the house again, so that's going to get all this homogeneous. That's well sealed now, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Getting too much in there. It's just spewing out. Even as much caulk as I've done, I still let it get over the edges and stuff, because it'll go over the edges of the spout, and that's where it gets really looking like a wide track. It doesn't need it. It doesn't do any good. It's more to paint over. Anyway, it doesn't harm anything. Just, I'm trying to make it look professional. Okay, that's better. Much better. And just catch the undersides because I didn't do any of it. Okay, that one's caught. All right, that's done. This has got that little window close in task all done. The side is weatherproofed in now. All it needs to be is finished painted. There's a bathroom on the other side where they needed there was a wall that was added where the window was, so the window couldn't stay there, and so they now have a better arranged bathroom inside of it because of it. So
if you learned something here, please like and subscribe.